is the color of flowers in springtime? Red, the color of blood through my veins. Blue is the color of when you were leaving. Tell me, let me know what you feel inside. 'Cause you don't know me by name. So many times before, no one's buying anymore. shine in your shoes, but hey, I got news. I ain't falling for all of that glitter this time. As ready as I can be this time. I'll be running free. I've been afraid to go out in the night just to follow my deepest desire. How many times did I call it a day, leaving all of my hopes in the fire? I know what you're saying, don't need no explaining. You're making me shake and shiver. You're shining your shoes, but hey, I got news. I ain't falling for all of that glitter this time. As ready as I can be this time. I'll be running free, 'cause my heart is rising. I'm taking it step by step. I'm running and running. I'm not slowing down just yet. This time, as ready as I can be. This time, I'll be running free. My heart is rising. I'm taking it step by step. I'm running and running. I'm not slowing down just yet. You're a lonely sailor, and your soul is made of dust and blame. I'm a weary pirate, and my heart is made of dust and grain, and spoiled champagne. I've got troubles, I've got sins. I'm my worst enemy, but I've still got a lot to give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come? And say by chance, don't you wanna make a man who fully understands a sailor's heart, a sailor's heart. You're a born survivor, and you'll never find yourself in love. You're wise enough. I got troubles, I got sins. I'm my worst enemy, but I still got a lot to give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come? And say by chance, don't you wanna make a man who fully understands a sailor's heart, a sailor's heart. I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come? And say by chance, don't you want a man who fully understands, who fully understands. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come? And say by chance, don't you want a man who fully understands? A sailor's heart, a sailor's heart.
お疲れ様でした。
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand of thine. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of